All glories to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, verses from Gita Mahatmya. So, I hope everyone's take part today. So, Tanisha Mataji, would you like to read? Okay, Rajeshwari Mataji, is that possible to you read?
Yes, sure, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Jayate satatam sakyam sarva jiva gane saha prarabdam bhujanto vapi gita bhashya ratasya cha. A person who is devoted to studying the Gita acquires a friendly disposition to all living beings, despite his accruing the reaction of his previous actions in this world.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Yes.
So, those who have read Bhagavad Gita, it is mentioned that he will see all the living beings as equal. The Pandita Samadarshana. So he will see everyone, every living entity as equal, because one who read Bhagavad Gita, he knows that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. Therefore, every living entity is part and partial of the God. So there are 4.3 millions of species of life. Therefore, sorry, yes, 4.3 million species of life. So therefore, every living entity is a part and parcel of God. And also he will never, whatever he did, whatever mistakes or whatever karma he get in his past life will be never, um, he will never get that action in this world. So this is the quotation from Gita Mahatmya, where Lord Shiva explaining to Mother Parvati. So chapter 18. Chapter 18 is the conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. So this is the last chapter where Krishna concludes all the part or whatever we have studied from chapter 1 to chapter 17. Krishna have described, summarized everything in this chapter. And Krishna actually established the principle of surrender. Krishna totally established the principle of surrender in the heart of Arjuna. So Krishna will stress actually how to surrender unto him. And that Saranagadi, the level of Saranagadi, Krishna firmly, completely established in the heart of Arjuna. This is actually a very interesting, a very sweet chapter. We call this as a sweet chapter. So any lesson from chapter 17? Anyone would like to try? So anyone would like to try any lesson from chapter 17? Kukashal Vimataji, you wanted to try?
Easiest way to discover a person's situation under the moods is by observing the food he eats.
Yes, Mataji, yes. Then Akanti Priya also have to text that division of faith. Okay, so yes, both are correct. So we have learned so much of things from our previous chapter. The food which is contain three modes of material nature, the austerity which is done in the three modes of material nature, the charity. So all these, so much of things Krishna has explained in chapter 17. What are the food in the mood of goodness, mood of passionate, mood of ignorance. The charity is done in the mood of goodness, mood of passion, mood of authority. So here, let's go into the chapter 18. So chapter 18, again Krishna actually continuing from chapter 17, where the knowledge also have in the mood of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So those two in the mood of goodness, or the knowledge in the mood of goodness, is one who sees every living entity as equal. Pandita Samadarshana. So Pandita means who actually is a Brahmana. A Brahmana who is full of knowledge. He knows that every living entity is part and parcel of the God. Therefore, he sees every living entity as a part and parcel of the God. So knowledge in a spiritual, so spiritual knowledge is also considered as in the mood of goodness. So spiritual knowledge means this Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, knowledge of Krishna consciousness, were teaching that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everyone, and Krishna is the Supreme Father, is the giving Father, where everyone is part and partial. So this is actually in the mood of goodness, and he knows that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. So that's actually in the knowledge is in the mood of goodness. That is the topmost knowledge. And Krishna tells those who know the supreme science is actually intelligent. We have seen in chapter 2, Krishna tell Arjuna, do not talk like a Pandita, Arjuna. Pandita means a scholar which is actually knows everything, but actually one who don't know, even though he's materially educated. But nowadays people are materially educated, but they don't know the science of the soul. Therefore, those who know the science of the soul, which is considered as an intelligent soul. So therefore, all this knowledge which is related to the soul, and Krishna as the super soul, Krishna as the super soul living within the heart, those who know this is actually in the mode of goodness, and that knowledge is in the mood of goodness. And the knowledge in the mood of passion, he in every different body, there is a characteristic is in every different body, there is a different types of living entity. So they see everyone, every living entity as a different. They see only human as a spirit soul, and other living entity don't have the spirit soul. This is knowledge, is actually in the knowledge of passionate. Therefore, they will start killing all the other living entity other than the human. They only consider human being as a living entity. So this is the knowledge and mode of passion and mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance, knowledge mode of ignorance means one is attached to one kind of work as all in all. So they only knows some material thing. They don't care or don't even take care of their spiritual knowledge or spiritual advancement, or what is the actually soul, how we come. They don't have this kind of knowledge, and they are not interested. So this is the knowledge which is not related to the soul, which is not related to spiritual. It's actually in the mode of ignorance. Okay. So without the knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager. Okay. They don't know the confidential knowledge. They don't know what's the body. They only attach to the bodily comfort. Okay. They have a knowledge in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, all the knowledge which is related to this is in the mood of ignorance. So people in that mood is always satisfy the body sense. Okay, they will satisfy the bodily demand. So therefore, that is in the mode of ignorance. That knowledge is the mode of ignorance. But confidential knowledge, Krishna said, confidential knowledge is that we are spiritual. We have seen in chapter 9 what is this Bhagavad Gita is actually king of knowledge, and it's confidential knowledge. So that confidential knowledge is know that we are spirit. So that is most confidential knowledge. And then Krishna further explaining the kind of happiness. So happiness. Kantipriya, you there? You can read the table.
That okay. Happiness, goodness, which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar which one to self-realization passion, which is derived from context of the senses with their objects, to which appears like nectar at first but poisoned at end. ignorance, one which is blind to self realization, two which is delusion from the beginning to end, three which arise from sleep, laziness, and illusion.
Thank you so much, Shikanti. So Krishna explaining the types of happiness. So the types of happiness in mood of goodness is in the beginning is just like a poison. It's very difficult, it's very hard to follow, but the end it is like a nectar, amardam. Amardam means honey. It is like a nectar as a honey. So for example, the spiritual practices, one is recommended to wake up early in the morning and must bath and must take their bath and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and also cooking recommended food and offer to the Lord. This is called as the sadhana bhakti, or this is called as a devotional life or devotional services or spiritual practices. So at the beginning, waking up early in the morning is very hard, right? It's very hard to wake up early in the morning. But one who actually practice this, continually practice, but at the end it's just like a nectar. Okay, you will actually feel so much of peace of mind. You will be very peace by waking up early, even taking one bath. This actually in the Vedas it is stated by what, but by one who is actually waking up in the morning, early in the morning, 45 minutes before the sunrise, and taking bath early in the morning, chanting his rounds, chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and cooking and offer it to Lord is called as a penance and austerity in the age of Kali. Because we cannot do some austerity like how Dhruva Maharaj do, how this Valmiki Muni have do, meditating for 64,000 years, or do some austerity, by observing this fasting, not eating for 12 days, 9 days. No, we cannot do that. And that is not recommended this age of Kali. But by one who actually waking up in the morning, taking his bath, pray, done is with the prayers and also cooking, actually it's equals to done the austerity work, like how Dhruva Maharaj done. Because in the Kali Yuga, usually people are not cooking. People are cooking. People are depending on the food of outside. Fast food. Now we have the mobile phone in our fingertips. We can order whatever we want, right? In this pandemic situation, but those who actually cooking and offer it to the Lord, it's called as austerity, as a penance. So that's how the waking up in the morning, all this basic thing is very important. It's the very basic of our life. But as the modern age is growing, as the modern civilization, we call it as a modern civilization. Okay, but people are neglected the tradition, and therefore the lifespan, we can see people are giving so much of comfort to the material body, and the lifespan, we can see the lifespan have been reduced. Okay, from Satyuga, people are Satyuga, it's very pure, so they can live for 100,000 years. Tirtha Yuga, 10,000 years. Even Draupar Yuga, 1,000 years. But come to Kali Yuga, 100 years. So when the Kali Yuga is progressing, when the Kali Yuga is advancing, the lifespan will be shorter and shorter and shorter. So at one point, even the 16 years will be considered as a old. Okay, now surviving until 80 years, it's already, it's a big wonder. Okay, 80 years, it's like 100 years now, right? It is very hard to pass even the 80 years old. What to talk about 100? So the lifespan is reducing. Why? We are not actually practicing the basic of the life. So waking up, no, waking up early in the morning, eat some sattvic food. Yesterday we have seen the food in the mood of goodness, passion, and the mood of goodness. We can see it's increase the duration of life. So it's very important. It's given in Bhagavad Gita. So in the mood of passion and in the mood of goodness is at the beginning, it's very hard. But one who constantly practice it, practice, it will become natural of our life habit. We don't have to remember, oh, you have to wake up early now. No. Now people usually will work for 5 days, and the 2 days they will sleep like nothing and eat like nothing. Okay, but for the who actually is practicing devotional service, there is no holiday. Even it's Monday, even it's Sunday, you have to wake up 5 o'clock, you have to wake up 5 o'clock. It has become natural in their life. So, but in the mode of passion, it is explained that which is appear like a nectar at first, but poison at the end. For example, mode of passion is by the contact of the senses or sense object. For example, it is given, Prabhupada written is purport that Prabhupada giving a nice example of a young boy and a young woman taking association. When a young boy and a young woman taking association, they will become so pleasure, right? It will become so pleasure at the beginning, and they will come into the intercourse of sexual relationship. Therefore, at the end, what happened? Divorce, lamentation, broke heart, and live in sorrow. So at the first, it is like a nectar, but at the end, it is like a poison. That's actually the symptoms of happiness, symptoms and mode of passion. And ignorance which is always delusion from beginning to end, even from the end, even from the beginning or end, it's always miseries. For example, drug addicts, okay, people who always smoke this weed, or taking some kind of drug, they always in illusion, even at the beginning and also at, okay, even in the mood of passion, it is nectar in the beginning and the poison at the end. But ignorance always, even in the beginning to the end, is always poison, and which is arise from sleep, laziness, and illusion. Those who are actually working, they tell, I'm working 5 days like nothing, but these 2 days I want to take rest. So actually, that happiness is called in the mood of ignorance. ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हिरीते स अर्जुन तिष्ठति ब्रह्मयं सर्वभूतानि यन्तदुरानि मायया तमेव शरणं गच्छ सर्वभावेन भारत तत्प्रसादा परं शान्तिं सत्नं पर्यासि सत्पथम् इति चैतन्यम् अव्यक्तं गुप्तगुह्यतरं मया Vimeyasti asena yaschihati tata kuru. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wandering of all living entities who are seated as on a machine and made of the material energy. So Krishna here telling that his body is made, it's like a machine, okay, like a motor car, even it is an expensive motor car. Whatever motor car, without the driver, the motor car is useless, right? Without the driver, the motor car is useless. Same goes here. Without the soul, this body is useless. So therefore, due to the course of time, it is when the body is take birth, when the body is changing, when the soul is changing the body, it is forgot the relationship between the soul and the super soul. Therefore, the soul actually contacted to this body, and this body is contacted to the material nature, influenced by the material nature. It is worked under the spell of illusion. Therefore, so much of sins, and the body will act according to his past deed. And Krishna explaining further, our station of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace, you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. So Krishna tells that one should surrender to the super soul which is within the heart, and that super soul is the supreme personality of Godhead. By surrendering to Krishna, by know the super soul, you can actually release from all the sinful reaction. So one who knows this Bhagavad Gita, one who knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he actually can release from all the sinful reaction. By only release from the sinful reaction, one can actually come to the position or to the level of Saranagati or surrender. Without stop the sinful reaction or become free from the sinful reaction, it is very hard to one to surrender onto the Lord. So one actually must become or free from the sinful reaction. So this is explained. And Bharata, which means Krishna, Arjuna have accepted that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where we have seen that in the chapter 10, Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Arjuna accepted that, accepted already that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not only Arjuna, in that verse, okay, we have actually read that verse, chapter 10, okay, and not only Arjuna, but the authority such as Vyasa, Ashita, Narada, all the great sages also accepted that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna further explaining that thus I have explained to you the knowledge is still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. So even though Krishna from chapter 1 to chapter 17 giving so much of knowledge, tremendous of knowledge Krishna has given to us, right? You are not this body, you are spirit soul, you have to do your duty without attachment. And Krishna already explained about the devotional services, 9 types of devotional services, and what is actually bhakti, and who am I? I am immovable, I am imperishable, this is imperishable science, this is king of education, this is king of so much of knowledge, right? What is material mode of nature, how it's work, and right. So therefore Krishna here, even though I have already explained to you, now Krishna gives a little independence. The spirit soul is not independent, it is dependent on the Supreme Lord, but yet Krishna, we have some little independence, and Krishna tell I am not interfere in that independence. Now even though I have tell what is divine quality, what is demonic quality, now it's up to you, okay, what is actually devotional life, what is actually demonic nature. So one who follow this way, you know what is the consequence. One who follow this way, you know what is the consequence. Even though I have tell, I have never force you to accept this Bhagavad Gita. It's up to you. What you then you do what you wish to do. He giving that independency to Arjuna. Now Arjuna, you can choose, even you want to fight or you don't want to fight, no problem. But even you fight or not, all these the opposite party like Duryodhana, Bhishma Deva, everyone will be killed. So it is up to you. You want to act as my instrument or you want to act independently. If you want to act independently, no problem, but you have to suffer for all the reaction, Arjuna. So not only for Arjuna, but also for Krishna giving this independence. The spiritual is cannot be forced. It must comes from self-realization. It must come from within. You cannot force anyone. Even my father is a devotee, but I cannot force my brother or I cannot force other people. Oh, my father is a devotee, you have to also follow this path. They can only give, and my father is not forcing me. You have to follow this. No, it's out of self-realization. He gave me this Bhagavad Gita, you have to read it. So out of that self-realization, I taking this path of perfection. Therefore, it is up to every individual to take or not take, to apply or not apply. But one who apply is success. One who apply is success. In come back to chapter 1, Krishna tells Prabhupada write a purport that wherever there is a God, there is no question of failure. We have to come back to the origin, the chapter 1. Okay, even though Sanjaya knows this, Duryodhana have so much of army and Arjuna have small army, but he have Krishna, the God, in his side. Therefore, the victory is confirmed to Arjuna. Maybe I can ask Arvindan Prabhu, would you like to do it?
Sure. Sarva Guya Tamam Guya Sarnomi Paramam Vacha Istosi Me Dradam Iti Tato Vakshami Te Hitam. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So Krishna tell here, because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge. Krishna already tell this Bhagavad Gita is most confidential. Okay, what is the sloka from chapter 9? Yes, Raja Vidya Rajaguyam. the king of knowledge, and the most confidential. Racha Vitya Rajaguyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Right? So Krishna already explained the most confidential knowledge, but Krishna here again tell Arjuna, Arjuna, now I going to tell this most confidential, and these upcoming verses, it's the famous sloka in the entire Bhagavad Gita, and everyone knows this. Most of those who read Bhagavad Gita, they know this verse. They definitely know this verse, and that is actually the essence of Bhagavad Gita. These two sloka, this sloka is actually establishing. So actually I request everyone, I can repeat, I can actually try to study this sloka, and you all can repeat after me, so you all can unmute yourself. This is actually very nice verses, very sweet verse. So let me start first. Manmana mama mad bhakto
Manmana bhavat mat bhakto
madhyanji mam namaskuru
madhyaji mam namaskuru
mam eva shishatyam te
mam eva satyam te
pariti jana priyoshimi
prati jane priyosime
sarvadharma padichachya
sarva dharmam parityajya
mamekam saranam vraja
mam ekam saranam vraja
havam tvam sarva bhavebhyo
aham tvam sarva pavebhyo
mokshasyamin maksujaha.
mokshasyamin ma sucha.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the wonderful cooperation. So Krishna tells here, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage to me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Krishna tells here that always think of me, become my devotee, worship me. So that is the most confidential. Krishna tells you, don't worry, Arjuna, become my devotee. So that is actually most confidential. And then you worship me, offer homage to me. And then definitely Krishna promises here that you will definitely come to me because you are my very dear friend. Not only Arjuna, because Krishna is very dear friend to every living entity. And the next verse, Krishna explaining, abandon all the varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all the sinful reaction. Do not fear. So Krishna actually establishing that you should actually abandon all the varieties religion. Krishna have described so much of yoga systems, so much of imperishable science. And now at the end of the chapter, Krishna asking Arjuna, you forgot everything. Krishna from chapter 1 to chapter 17 explained everything. But now asking Arjuna to forget. Right? That it doesn't make sense. But here Krishna tells, and Krishna continues that just surrender unto me. So by just accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or just worshipping Krishna, become his devotee, all whatever Krishna tells, you don't have to practice one by one. Everything will come accordingly. You don't have to, oh, this must be do, this must be do. You have to not attach to the work. We have to not attach to the result. We don't have to keep that on our mind. Krishna tell, abandon every varieties of religion. So much of religion Krishna have explained to us. But Krishna tell, you don't have to worry, you forgot that. But just surrender unto me, accept me as the Supreme Personality of God. Everything will come accordingly. Where Krishna tell in the 15th chapter, he is forgetfulness, he is intelligent, and from he comes remembrance. So you don't have to practice, you have to become just, we have to become just the devotee of Krishna and follow this sadhana bhakti of practice the devotional life. We don't have to worry. Krishna personally promises that surrender, and he will save from all the sinful reaction. Avam tavam sarva bhavapyo. I will deliver you from all the sinful reaction. Do not fear. Why you are fearing, Arjuna? So this is actually the most confidential knowledge and the most easiest. Just surrender and become the devotee of Krishna. And that is the only way actually free from this sin. So when we are free from the sinful reaction, we can worship Krishna. So unless one is free from sin, unless one is not free from all his sin, we cannot actually understand or come to this stage of Saranagati or come to the level of surrender. It's very hard if one are not free from this sinful reaction. Therefore, Krishna tells surrender and you will come, you will completely free from sinful reaction. So those one who actually touch Bhagavad Gita, even by touching Bhagavad Gita, in the Gita Mahatmya, it is told that you will actually become free from sinful reaction. And imagine what happens to one who actually reading it, right? Just by placing it at home, by touching this Bhagavad Gita and placing it at home. So you will be free from sinful reaction. So much of wonderful. But imagine what would happen if one starts reading this Bhagavad Gita. And most, because we have seen so much of glorification of Bhagavad Gita by reading Bhagavad Gita, all the holy rivers, all the holy pilgrimage, all the holy yajanas you don't have to do. By just reading Bhagavad Gita, everything will become equal. But that Bhagavad Gita must be read with or recite with pure devotion. So that's the key, is pure devotion. So this is a very important verse. Sarva dharma padichachya mam ekam saranam varja avam tuam sarva bhavabhyo mokshasyamin maksujaha. So this is actually, and the Prabhupada used this verse in so many of places. You have to surrender, nothing else. Why you are being, you wanted to become lot of material nature. You don't have to become lot of over this material nature. The Supreme, the God is actually lot over material nature. So when come to a place, someone asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, this Krishna consciousness is actually what religion, what race? Is that a Hindu? Is that a Muslim? Or is that a Christian? And Prabhupada looking at the reporter and say, we all are servant of God. Okay, so this Krishna consciousness is Muslim or Hindu or Christian. They asked him. Prabhupada simply said, no, we all are servant of God. So even in the Bible, or in the Quran, it is told, Hambamu means your servant. Therefore, we are also saying that we all are servant of the God. So even the Bible are saying the similar verses like this. We all are children of the Supreme Father. And now here Krishna tell, I am seed giving Father. So all this holy book is giving a similar message, but some of the holy book is giving indirect message or a perplexed the content. But Krishna here giving directly, Sarva Dharma Padichari, just surrender unto me, and I am the God, I am the seed giving Father. Bhoktaram Yakmatapasham Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. I am the supreme of all the entire loka, all the entire planet. Right? Krishna gives the quotation. And then there is big sloka, therefore I took this translation so I can ask Yohendran Prabhu, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is granted, and at the end he will come back to me. There is no servant in the world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So Krishna explaining that if you explain the secret of Gita to a devotee who are like-minded and positive, you will get pure devotional service. And Krishna explaining that there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor he, and will there be one more dear. So one who actually sharing this knowledge of this Gita, Bhagavad Gita to other, Krishna tell he will become more dear to him. So out of some selfishness, I actually explaining this Bhagavad Gita because I want to become very dear to the Lord. Therefore, I also wanted to you all become very dear to the Lord. So therefore, one who really no interest in Bhagavad Gita, you can actually tell him glorification of Bhagavad Gita. So those who have not get Bhagavad Gita, you can ask them, purchase one Bhagavad Gita. You can share some knowledge of this Bhagavad Gita. And Krishna tell, one who actually share this knowledge has become very dear to me. So that's why everyone is actually sharing, actually teaching this Bhagavad Gita. Is not out of fanaticism, is not out of popularity. No, Krishna tell here, ones who actually sharing these great signs is actually will come dear to me. So always discuss about Bhagavad Gita, always talk about the Krishna's past times, right? He will come very dear to the Lord. The Lord himself has been declared that. And I declare that he who study this sacred conversation of ours worship me by his intelligence. Those who read Bhagavad Gita, the conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, he become very dear to Lord. And one who listen with faith and without envy become free from sinful reaction. So even though some people does not know who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, okay, no one could teach, and this is the first time they are reading Bhagavad Gita or listening that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they hear so much of quotation from Bhagavad Gita, but one maybe they don't know, they don't establish Krishna in their heart, but they have no envy. Krishna tells, without envy, we all now you all are not envy. I have seen these 20 people, these 20 participants actually coming with me through from starting from day 1 until day 18, right? Chapter 18, chapter 1 until chapter 18. So you all are actually very dear to Krishna because you have no envy and listen with faith. That is very important, faith. One might be a very great scholar reading all these Puranas, all these Vedantis, but they would never have faith. So they just reading for some popularity purpose, and they will not establish or they will never accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They don't have faith. So that faith is very important. Must have faith by practicing this devotional with faith. Must remember with faith. So one reporter asked, so at the you Prabhupada, you telling that at the end of the day, you will back to home, back to Godhead, you will back to Krishna in this life by chanting this Hare Krishna mantra, by reading. What if that could never happen? Okay, how do you believe it? Or at the end of your life, okay, it will never happen. What do you do? Okay, and Prabhupada answering that even in the end of life, it's not happening. Okay, whatever this Bhagavad Gita or this Hare Krishna mantra, it's not or it's false. But somehow rather, I am living a life better than you. Prabhupada smashing, Prabhupada destroyed, the evil mind of fatherhood, telling that all these things are actually not practicable, and it's nothing will happen. Even you die by doing or enjoying all this material, you will actually go to the heavenly planet. Why you are worrying? Why you actually following? People are discriminated or saying something about this Bhagavad Gita, and we our faith will be like putting in a doubt. Oh, Bhagavad Gita உண்மையா? Hare Krishna உண்மையா? Hare Krishna மந்திரம் பண்ணா நம்ம கடவுள்கிட்ட போயிரும். These kind of queries, doubt will always come to us when our faith is not there. But even Prabhupada tell, but even it's not called, I have living a life better than yours. So therefore, but this Bhagavad Gita or whatever the pastimes of the God, whatever the story we have discussed, the pastimes of the Lord, or so much of stories, it's all real. It is mentioned in the Puranas and the Vedas. It is real, and it is proven, and Prabhupada have proven practically Prabhupada have proven that by changing so much of people, so much of devotees who become very surrender devotee to the Supreme Personality of God. So in this view, that this Bhagavad Gita is 100% real. There is no doubt, and you can never find fault. There is no one have find fault in Bhagavad Gita as it is. I don't know other Bhagavad Gita which is written or authored by other mundane philosopher, but this Bhagavad Gita as it is, translated by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta, I can guarantee you, I can challenge that no fault can find. So that's why this is called as Bhagavad Gita as it is. So I can request Divya Mataji, would you like to?
Yes, Prabhu. Kasid ita shrutam partha tavyai kagrena cetasa kachid adnana samoha pranastas ti dananjaya. O son of Pratha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind, and are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled?
Thank you. So Krishna is acting as a spiritual master. Remember in chapter 2, Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna. Now you say what is best for me. I am a soul surrender unto you. I am laminated to what is my duty. So please instruct me. I am a surrender soul. I am your disciple. So therefore, Krishna accepting Arjuna as a disciple, and at the end of the chapter, the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna asking Arjuna, now are you understand? You understand? Or you want to me repeat the whole entire Bhagavad Gita? If you're not understanding, I shall actually repeating the whole Bhagavad Gita again to you. Okay, that is the position of a spiritual master. A spiritual master must inquiry to his disciple that are you okay? Okay, you can understand this imperishable science or not? I can shall repeat it back. And Arjuna replied that maybe I can ask. Ramesh Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Arjuna Vacha Nasto Moha Samstar Labda Tavat Prasadan Mayachyuta Sithito Smi Kata Sandeha Krishye Vachanam Tava. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I have regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt and am prepared to act according to your instructions.
Thank you so much. The Arjuna said, Krishna, oh infallible one, my illusion is now gone. So what is illusion? In Srila Prabhupada explained that illusion is one who thinks that he is God. One who think is I am the God. I am Lord over the material nature. So by this he forgot the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He trying to be the Lord of the material nature. When one in this stage, it is called illusion. And one who in this stage is actually grabbed by the lust, the anger, enviness, so everything will come. So he's actually in the illusion, as how Arjuna in the illusion in the first chapter, he don't want to fight, he giving so much of reason because of the tradition will destroyed, because there is no victorious, no celebration of victorious, and the progeny will, there is no population. So he's under the illusion. Now Arjuna tell that my illusion is now gone. So how can we know that our illusion is gone? When we are free from this sinful reaction, when we are out of the lust, when we are understand we are not this body, we are spirit soul, when we understand that who's Krishna, when we are surrendering to him. So that's how we can identify that our illusion is actually gone. And he tells that I have regained my memory by your mercy. So it is ultimately the mercy of the Lord. Okay, it is nothing can happen without the ultimate the mercy of the Lord. So one who wanted to understand Bhagavad Gita, who really wanted to understand Bhagavad Gita, one must have the mercy of the pure devotee and the mercy of the Lord. So the mercy of pure devotee is the devotee life is divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shilam Prabhupada. So by their mercy, by Krishna's mercy, we can actually understand this imperishable science. And Arjuna is already free from all the doubt, and he wanted to fight against and under the instruction of Krishna. He ready to follow the instruction of Krishna. So he taken his bow, his arrow, and ready to fight. And Krishna act as a chariot driver. So, and remember that there is one person actually reciting, actually narrating the whole conversation, which is Sanjaya. At the beginning of the chapter, we saw this character, Sanjaya and Rastra, and then they actually become lost. And then chapter 10, actually he was seeing another person, chapter 11, the universal form of Krishna, this Vishwarupa. Another person other than Arjuna seeing this universal form is Sanjaya. Actually, Sanjaya is by his imagination, he can see what is actually taken place in the battlefield. Therefore, he is explaining to Dharastra. Okay, so I can ask who wanted to volunteer to read. This is actually the last sloka. Anyone wanted to volunteer to read? This is the last opportunity. Yes, Ramesh Prabhu, you read.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, please.
Sanjaya Uvacha Yatra Yogeshwaraha Krishno Yatra Prathotanurtarha Tatra Sri Vichayo Buddhir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystic, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yes, Ekanti Priya, you also can read. No problem, you can repeat.
Okay. Can I read the Sanskrit again? Or...
Yes, sure, please.
Okay. Sanjaya Uttava Yatra Yogeswara Krishna Yatra Patto Dhanodara Tatra Srir Vijaya Bhuttir Dhruva Nitir Matir. Wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also be certainly opulent victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion.
Thank you so much, Ekanti Priya. So Sanjay is telling that wherever there is Krishna, the master of the all mystic, wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. So Sanjaya and Dharastra is actually begin to inquire what is actually happening, Okay, and he was expecting that his son, the evil son, is going to win the battle. But Sanjaya already Sanjaya knows that wherever Krishna is, wherever the God is, so wherever the God, there is no question of failure. So now why we are worrying? And wherever there is Arjuna, so we have to be in the mood of Arjuna, following the footstep of Arjuna by listening faithfully and following the instruction of Krishna. And there will be opulence, there will be always victory. Okay, and Dharastra is not expecting, he cannot digest the victory on the side of Yustra, the Pandavas. Therefore, all these heroic Pandavas getting ready to fight. So all these Yustra Pandavas, and at the end of the day, the Pandavas win the battlefield and they claim the throne. Even though they claim the throne, they never punish Dharastra. Even though Dharastra is the part of the plan of Duryodhana, which is evil-minded, but they still taking care of Dharastra because Dharastra is the uncle. Okay, it's like an uncle because his father's brothers, Pandava's brother is actually Dharastra. So his father's brother is like an uncle. He's like a father also. So out of the not compassion, because that is the dharma. Even though he is enemy, okay, you can see the qualities of the Pandavas. Even though the Dharastra is enemy, is in the other side, but after everyone died, the Pandavas still taking a nice care of this Dharastra. So that's actually the qualities of a devotee. Okay. So, and Sanjaya has already declared the result of the war that the Pandavas was going to win. So, and this is chapter recap. Knowledge, there are 3 types of knowledge: goodness, um, passion, and ignorance. We can say goodness is seeing everything, everyone as a equal. Okay, Pandita Samadarshana, goodness, and then knowledge and happiness. In the mood of goodness is poison at the first, and end is nectarian. It is self-realization. Passionate is opposite, which is nectar at the first, and end the position, which is one who trying to satisfy the sense or sense object. And ignorance, even at the beginning, from the ending, will always misery and full of delusion. And most confidential knowledge, Krishna tells, become my devotee. Okay, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your home wish to me. Man mama man bhakto ma janji mam namaskuru. Thus you will become to me without it. Krishna personally promising here. And Sarvadharma Padichachya Mamekam Saranam Braja. Abandon all the varieties of religion and just render unto me. I shall deliver you from all the sinful reaction. This too is the most professional knowledge. And Sanjay conclusion that Krishna plus Arjuna. So one who accepting Krishna, and we should follow the footstep of Arjuna. Okay, we cannot take Arjuna put beside Krishna. No, that is not possible. But we have to become in the mood of Arjuna. So that's actually the what Prabhupada have tried to explain, that we have to become in the mood of Arjuna by accepting Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is Paradharma, Param Bhavan, Param Brahma. And definitely there is no question of failure. So this is the holy name. Arvindan Prabhu, would you like to read?
Sure. The importance of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is very strongly stressed in the second canto, first chapter, verse 11 of Srimad Bhagavatam in the following way. Sukadeva Goswami tells Maharaja Parikshit, my dear king, if one is spontaneously attached to the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, it is to be understood that he has attained the highest perfectional stage.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So this is the verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, where Shukadeva Goswami instructing Parikshit Maharaj that the chanting of Hare Krishna is very important. And who actually chanting Hare Krishna, he attained the highest perfectional stage of life. Therefore, so we have 2 things. One, with chanting Hare Krishna, we will chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra 408 times. It will take around 10 minutes if we will chant very slowly, observing this Mahamantra, focusing this Mahamantra. And then I will go for any question from chapter 1 to chapter 18. You might have a question. I will address any question, any doubt, and then we go for some sharing session. Okay, what you feel throughout these 18 days. So before that, we will finish our where is another slide? Okay, actually this is actually this one is no, this one is wrong. Okay, we will continue with our chanting. Okay, give me a minute. You all can see my screen, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, so we will start chanting. So those who have Japamala, you can take this Japamala. Those who don't have, you can buy one, or you can just chanting. So you can unmute yourself also. There's no problem. So if everyone ready, we can start chanting. Okay.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Kantipriya, you can hear, right?
No.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
No?
Now I can hear.
Okay, okay.
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram.
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram
Ram.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare Hare
Ram.
Hare Ram
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram.
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram.
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram. Hare Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Hare
Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram.
Ram Hare Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram.
Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare
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 Krishna
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram.
Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Ram
Hare
Ram Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
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 Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram.
Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Hare
Ram
Ram
Ram.
Hare Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Ram Ram.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare, Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
Ram.
Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram.
Ram Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram.
Hare Ram, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Ram Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram.
Hare Ram, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Rama
Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Hare.
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Krishna.
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Rama.
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Rama
Hare,
Rama,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Ram Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare Hare.
Ram, Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram,
Hare
Rama
Krishna,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Ram Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram.
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama,
Hare Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Rama, Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram, Rama Rama, Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram,
Rama, Hare Hare. So, Hare Krishna, welcome back. So, we have ended our chanting. So, any question?
No, Prabhu.
Oh, you have question, Ekanta Priya. Yes, please.
No.
You can ask. Do you have question, Ekanta Priya? Hare Krishna. So, any other question? So, no question. So any sharing? Would you like to share personally? Anyone would like to share? So before the sharing session, I would like to thank you very much to listening attentively. It is 20 people. You don't have to worry about this attendance. I have see these 20 people always attend to this class. So I will give full attendance. No matter if someone miss 1 time, 2 times, it's okay. I will try to give full attendance to all these 20 participants. Okay, I will make sure that you all will get your certificate at the end of the class. So thank you so much for listening, and very sorry for my language. I'm not very good in this English. So it's preferable to talk in Tamil, but the management is giving the instruction to talk in English. So you all are very elder from me. So I just whatever I teach you, all the glories to Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj. I do the service as an instrument to the Supreme Personality of God, as a service to the Lord. So I also learning with you all together. So therefore, thank you very much. So anyone would like to add anything?
Hare Krishna Guru. Satish.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, first and foremost, I would like to extend my gratitude to ISKCON Malaysia for having this wonderful event. And second of all, surely to you, and at this very young age, we are very grateful to have you. In fact, you're saying that you're very new, but it don't seem new. You're full of knowledge, and on that part, I would like to thank you so much for all the guidance and knowledge. And on this particular journey for 18 days, I managed to understand that Bhagavad Gita is one of the greatest knowledge, and it is one of the greatest essence for us for self-realization. And yeah, thank you for everything. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So, anyone? So there is no.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for sharing and teaching us throughout the 18 days. It was a wonderful journey, and thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much. So anyone, any other participant?
Thank you very much, Prabhu. I'm Navamani. Maybe you will not be able to see my name there.
No.
Because I had some problem with my laptop, so I had to use my handphone. So I am glad and I feel that the Lord is merciful to make me to be part of this course, short course. as you said, even though you were very young, I think you are blessed because I was able to understand whatever you narrate to us all these 18 days. So hope to join more courses if it is available, and if I have the free time and I have the, what should I say, the Lord's mercy to
Yes.
join, to know more about Lord Krishna. Thank you very much. You are very patient, and I was able to understand whatever you have said throughout these 18 days. Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much. I take it as a blessing, Mataji. Thank you so much. I will actually post the level 2. The level 2 is already announced. I will post in the group, so don't quit the group yet. I will post, and maybe other people, those who are very interested, who are really interested, you can just register as level 1. Like level 1, you will be go for level 2, and level 2 other senior devotee or advanced devotee will taken care of this group. And yet, yes, you can message me personally if you need anything in personal or guidance or any doubt. You still can message me and keep in touch with me. There is no problem. So any other participant would like to share?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah. So my sincere thanks to you. Thank you so much for guiding, for these 18 days. Right, you have like enlightened us. I mean, especially me, I don't know anything actually about Bhagavad Gita. As I told you earlier, on the first day, I just read a few pages, then I stopped reading. So at least now, we know the essence in all the 18 chapters actually. Yeah, thank you so much. And of course, I would like to thank Nawa teacher also for actually introducing this course to me. Yeah. So thank you so much, teacher, and Prabhu, thank you so much. Yeah, I hope to see you again actually after this.
Okay, yes, sure, Mataji. Thank you very much. Welcome, you're welcome. And yes, Queen Mataji, Hare Krishna, thank you for teaching us. And I'm sorry when you asked me to read, I didn't that because I'm not that comfortable reading in front of everyone. Hope you can forgive me. No problem, Mataji. Even listening is already, even Parikshit Maharaj is just listening. And he back to home, back to got it. So, and Divya Mataji messaged me, thanks a lot, Prabhu, for your sharing for past 18 days. I really learned a lot. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. You're most welcome, Mataji. I take it as a blessing. So, any other people, any other person would like to share? So, if no, so
Prabhu,
yes, yes.
thank you very much,
Yes.
Prabhu.
Vijay Mataji, Vijay Lakshmi Mataji.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, no problem, Mataji.
Well, these 18 days, I have learned a lot of things, even though I don't understand so much. But then, well, I could understand a bit. Well, I promised to myself that I will finish reading Bhagavad Gita. Okay,
Wonderful,
for me, to
Mataji.
understand more. Okay, thank you.
Wonderful, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you for the blessing, Mataji.
Thank you.
So, any other participants?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, yes, Ramesh Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the guidance. So, yep, I wanted a start. So you have, you have to give me a lot of information. So I believe I'll continue my journey in Bhagavad Gita to dive deep down more. And yeah, thank you a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. So, any other participant? So, if no participants, so I would like to end. And thank you for all this blessing. So, whatever I teach you, it is coming ultimately from Srila Prabhupada. None of my mental speculation or my own intention. Ultimately, by the purpose of His divine grace, A.C. Swami Srila Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. All glories to my Prabhupada, all glories to my Guru Maharaj, and all glories to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and as well as my Father. So, therefore, thank you. Hope to see you all again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay,
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.